Today I'm going to show you how to modify the Nerf Maverick. The tools you will need are a small screwdriver, medium screwdriver, a knife to cut glue, and a small pair of pliers or a flathead screwdriver to pry with. Also, it's nice to have a outline of the gun itself to place the screws on, so you know exactly where to put them back. So the first thing you'll need to do is to remove the outer screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then there's 3 on the slide, 8, 9, 10, and then 1 underneath. So once you have that done, once you have the screws on the slide removed, to remove the slide, just simply pop the slide off, and set the parts to the side. Now you'll notice there's this little metal bar, and that'll be very important when we're putting it back together. So place the parts to the side, and you'll notice that along the gun, the seam of the plastic, there's glue at most of the corners. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this knife. You can use a pocket knife or a razor. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it in between the seam and just go around the gun. So once you've cut the glue off the seam, now I've already taken this apart because I can only use one hand because I'm holding the camera. So I already took it apart once, so it's pretty easy coming off. All of this will be a little bit easier at home because you'll have both your hands to work with. So it'll just pop off, and you can lay that to the side. And what happens a lot is this little spring right here has a tendency to pop off, so look out for that. And this will come up, so make sure you push that down. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the cylinder. So you're going to, this little piece right here, you're going to either pull back or push the button on the side, and then the cylinder will just, here, I'm doing it with one hand again, will just pop right out. So this is what we're going to be modifying. So we'll set everything else to the side, make sure this part has a tendency to come out when you do that. So make sure it's in. So we're going to set this to the side, and we're going to start working on this. So first thing we're going to do is this little rod and this piece need to come out. So this is the end of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our screwdriver and we're going to put it underneath, right in here, and we're just going to pop it off. So the step we just did takes 2 hands, and you'll remove this rod and you'll set it to the side. Now on the other end, there's this spring and this little piece. There's a spring in there, and this little piece that'll pop out, and you want to make sure you don't lose those. So now that we've got that piece off, we can start taking this apart. So there's one screw here, one screw here, and another screw here. So there's 3 screws in all. 1, 2, 3. So you just take your small screwdriver and remove those, and then on the other side there's another 3 screws. You look in there, 1, 2, 3, and then you'll remove those. So now that you've gotten all 6 screws removed, what you're going to do is you're going to take this end of the cylinder and you're going to want to pop it off just like that. And as you can see, all kinds of things just happened. So what you can see is a bunch of little springs and little air restrictors pop out, along with these, which are like little dart guides. So I have, for example, to show you exactly what the air restrictors do. And I'm going to put the dart on. And what happens when you put a dart in is it pushes back on the air restrictor, allowing the air to come through and fire the dart. When you don't have a dart in there, basically the air restrictor just blocks the air and prevents a big noisy bang. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pop this off, remove the air restrictor and the spring, and it will make it a little bit noisier, but there will be 3 more holes for the air to travel through. And the air restrictor, even though it backs back into the chamber, there's still that little hole when the whole thing could fill with air, and it slows the air down a little bit and thus slows the dart. So we're going to remove all those. That's the first mod. The second mod is to snip this off the base. And basically what this does is it guides the dart to the back and just holds it in place. But we already have this that when we reload, we slip the darts into. So we already have something to hold our darts. Now if I can get it back out. So we're just going to snip this off the base, and the darts will still stay in. So I'm going to be back after I snip these off, and we're going to put the gun back together. So we're back, and my sister is taking the camera, so this will be a lot easier. So what I've done is I've snipped these little pieces off so we can throw those away. And what we're going to do with this is we're just going to place it back on. Now the advantage of coming from the cylinder end rather than this top end than the back is you can push those pieces on good, really good. You know how tight they are. Now I've dropped one and I've got it back. So that's the advantage. As you can see how good they are on. And if you want, maybe you can even put a little glue in there to keep them snug. Now we're going to start putting it back together. So if we move over here, basically we're just going to take, keeps falling off. Not sure why this piece likes to fall off, but it'll stay on in a second. So we're going to take this, and I'm just going to slide it up like that. And I'm going to take this piece, and we want to make sure we line up where the screws go. And we're going to take this and find where the screws go, and then
Voila.
line it up accordingly. And I'll be back as soon as I get those screws in. So now we're going to take this piece that we pulled out originally and slide it back in. Pop the spring in. And then jam this little piece down in. You can even take the back of a screwdriver. Well, I need a bigger screwdriver. There we go. Jam it in the heel kicker.
That's loud.
Yeah. So once you have it jammed in, we can put the cylinder back in the gun. So now to put the cylinder back in. Orange end goes down the barrel. I'm going to slip this in.
Make sure it matches up.
Yeah. And make sure this little piece is in there, because that's what turns.
What little piece?
Little piece down there slides into the cylinder, into the center, because that is what turns the barrel, as you can see. Now you want to test this a couple of times just to make sure everything's working. Nothing's happening here, just making sure the barrel is turning. Now, this is where we start putting the gun back together. So you'll put the top on, make sure every piece is in its place. And we are pretty much done. Alright, so now you've got everything to slide on. Make sure you get the screw in here. Now there's a little bitty spring. There's a spring down in here.
Let me see, move.
That
move,
pulls the
move.
slide.
I can't see. Oh, what am I doing?
Back up. And so you're going to take your small screwdriver or whatever you have, and you're going to want to pull that to the right angle to where the little metal bar here can grab it. So now we're going to try to get that through. And I flipped it over the wrong way. We'll be back as soon as we finish. So we've gotten this little metal bar, that little spring, and we've gotten half the slide in. Now for the second half. Basically with this one, you just make sure you have the little hole that the metal bar goes into lined up first. And then you push it on. So everything is in working order. Just gotta put the screws in. So we're back, and now we're gonna test the modified gun versus the unmodified one. So, close the door. You wanna come here and watch?
Yeah.
Alright, come in here. Close the door.
Stand right here.
Right,
You look hilarious with that tie on.
Are you recording still?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're gonna test the unmodified gun versus the modified gun. This is the modified one. So I've already cocked it, put 2 darts in, and we don't have much room, but we're going to see. There's that one. Unmodified gun. So as you can see, the unmodified gun, the dart landed a little bit lower. So the modified gun is slightly more powerful. Now with more room, more distance, you would see the full difference. But, yep, that's how to modify your Nerf Maverick.